Fuel has hot and cold temperature issues. You want to recognize the circumstances where this can happen and take the appropriate measures to address them.
When diesel fuel increases in temperature, it becomes a fire hazard, so it is important to control temperature buildup. In some generator engines, certain components require cool fuel for good long-term operation. Fuel is normally stored and transferred at atmospheric temperature. However, when a diesel generator operates, it returns about 2/3 of its fuel flow back to a day tank, causing the temperature to rise. Ambient fuel should be stored at up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Without fuel cooling, a small day tank can reach a temperature approaching 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Fuel is cooled by a variety of methods in order of simplicity. A. The return flow from the generator flows through a slave radiator mounted on the main radiator for the engine cooling. B. The return flow from the engine is directed to a pipe that allows gravity flow back to the main fuel storage tanks. C. A fuel radiator with a dedicated fan is provided where the generator itself has a remote radiator. D. A return flow pump mounted at the day tank returns fuel to the main storage tank when a high temperature is reached, allowing refill of the day tank with cooler fuel. In cold temperatures, certain components of diesel start to come out of the solution as wax. This temperature is called the cloud point, and is about 10 degrees Fahrenheit for number 2 diesel and negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit for number 1 diesel. These solids can clog filters and cause generator failures. As the temperature decreases further and additional solids form, the diesel fuel will reach a point where it will not readily flow through the piping. This pour point is about negative 10 degrees for number 2 diesel and negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit for number 1 diesel. Another cold weather issue is water separation from diesel and accumulation in the lower parts of valves and devices. This water can freeze and cause these valves and devices to fail. A winter blended diesel of number 1 and number 2 diesel fuel is distributed in colder climates during winter months. The blend is such that the cloud point and pour point are reduced to avoid most common diesel handling problems. Where blended fuel or straight number 1 diesel are not sufficient, you should provide heating systems. Some users provide heat tracing and insulation for the outside piping system while leaving the tanks unheated. This approach takes care of ice deposits in valves and devices. Other users include heating of the tank contents as well, most commonly with a submersible heater or a circulation heater. Heating elements in contact with diesel fuel need to be designed with a low watt density to avoid overheating. These elements need to be submersed in the fuel at all times. Tank heaters typically have low fuel level cutoffs, and circulation heaters cut off when flow is stopped. For the control purposes, it is important to have temperature monitors both for normal temperature control and for high temperature safety.